What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel writing music reviews. My name is Aaron, and today we're going to be checking out the new album Death Below by the band August Burns Red. For those of you who are not familiar with the band, they are a progressive metalcore band from Pennsylvania, started around 2003, and this is their 10th studio album, so this is 20 years of August Burns Red at this point, and they are my top 3 favorite bands, so I'm always excited for basically anything they release, and it feels like it's been about 10 years since they released Guardians in 2020, which I gotta admit was kind of polarizing, as it was kind of like their most polished sound. I would say it's their album with their most variety of music from song to song. And those that love the band's progression and evolution over the years, such as 2015's Found in Faraway Places and 2017's Phantom Anthem, gave Guardians a lot of praise. However, the diehard golden era fans of 2007's Messengers and 2009's Constellations, they scoffed at what they heard on Guardians. They were not that into it. And I gotta admit, I loved a lot of songs, but at the same time, I didn't love all of the songs on there. Not every song hit quite as hard as I feel like it could have. Even the singles, which normally I don't like, and then once I hear them on the full album, I usually end up liking them, but such as like Bones and stuff, I don't know. I still have a hard time getting into some of the songs. And at a glance, Death Below seems like it could be their heaviest album based off of the cover and the singles that they've released. They've been kind of heavier, but also a little bit more mainstream, so it's kind of hard to tell which direction they were going to be going in. And I've learned not to judge a book or album by its cover. So let's jump into it and see what this album's about. The album opens up with the song Premonition, which sets the tone lyrically for this entire album. It speaks of a dream of things to come, foretelling of destruction, and it features August Burns Red's signature like spoken word vocals that they do. And this is the first time on an album that they've done where they're not gun-ho right out the gate, guns blazing with their first song. It's really atmospheric. And like I said, it sets the tone, and it flows directly into the song Cleansing, which is about this unseen evil force that's taking over and destroying humanity and the world, but someone rises up to conquer it. The intro reminds me of August Burns Red's earlier stuff, just with higher distorted vocals thrown in there. It sounds fantastic. The rhythm becomes more pronounced as the song progresses. The first interlude, I gotta admit, is kind of underwhelming, but I enjoyed the bass guitar that just stands out. It's so sick. And there's another spoken word thing before the breakdown, which has a lot of death metal kind of quality to it. The melody becomes pretty inspirational, as do the vocals and the lyrics. And then there's another interlude thrown in there just before the outro that reminds me a lot of something off of Rescue and Restore, which is my favorite August Burns Red album. And it's nice to hear that throwback in there specifically to that album, because it's been, it's very rare that that ends up happening. And the outro is breathtaking, full of huge fat triplets. I'm going to jump ahead to one of my favorite songs on the album, Tightrope, which is about walking the tightrope. That is the balance between work life and family life. It starts out with a great lead guitar melody. The whole song kind of reminds me of something that would come right off of Constellations. The riff around the 1 minute mark sounds so freaking good, finishing off with some finger tapping and a soaring guitar. The guitar solo, which is taken over by Jason Richardson, is phenomenal. I mean, it's melodic, it's powerful, it's got a good rhythm. I mean, everything that you expect. It's super technical and fast. It's Jason Richardson, and he's doing what he does here, but he isn't going above and beyond. It fits the song, and it works so well. The vocal and lyrics are good in this song, but I would say the instrumentation is the shining point. And I would say that this is like the shining point of the whole album musically. The songwriting, the riffs, everything. This is where August Burns Red is just like doing their best work on this song. And then we have the song Ancestry, which features Jesse Leach. This one has an old school Constellation kind of feel to it too, specifically in the music. It evolves becoming more rhythmic and having kind of a breakdown quality to it, specifically in verse 2. The chorus, which features Jesse Leach, is just okay. I'm not really feeling his vocal melody or his tone or what he brought to it. I'm more of a Howard fan as opposed to Jesse fan anyway, so I'm a little biased there, I gotta admit. It's definitely one of the catchiest choruses that August Burns Red has ever written. This is kind of out of their wheelhouse for the stuff that they do. So if you're a diehard August Burns Red fan, this song might be kind of polarizing, because it might be fun to hear him do something different, but at the same time, you're like, why are they doing this? So yeah, this is going to be one of those songs that people are either going to love or they're going to hate, I feel like. The lyrics are really, really touching about a band member's loved one attempting suicide and just the whole struggle that he went through within that. And it's just, yeah, this one's a tearjerker. Fool's Gold in the Bear Trap has a heavy, heavy bass mixed over an echoey guitar. And again, it has rescue and restore vibes. At least for me, that's kind of what I'm feeling on this one. And you think this is going to be a slow song. You think it's going to be atmospheric, but you're absolutely wrong. It just erupts with a scream, and then there's this duet between Dustin and Jake and the different vocal styles of really low and growly and really high and screamy. Just sounds so freaking good, and it flows directly into the next song, Backfire. It has phenomenal drum work. That's the best thing this song has going for is the drum work. And it's super proggy as it keeps building on itself, leading towards the chorus as a bouncy melody that turns into a guitar solo. It just flows. This whole song just flows so well. And the first breakdown hits really hard, while the second breakdown, it's just darker. It has like a deathcore kind of thing to it. It's just, yeah, the tone of the song changes at this point. And then it changes back as the bridge ascends into the outro. That is probably one of the best moments on this album. Revival is about a traumatic event that happened in Jake's life. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I don't know if he's announced it yet or not. But this is about how he overcame it. The lyrics don't really hold anything back, though, about how much of a struggle this was for him. Like, I mean, he's pretty straightforward about it. And the music is basically just standard metalcore. I really love the dissonance between the two guitars. The breakdown is powerful, especially from the vocals, and the lead guitar matches the melody in them really well. The bridge has, again, rescue and restore vibes, which I absolutely love, with a thick bass once again. And the breakdown after is pretty inspiring, as is the outro. Then we have the song Sevic, which I think it's just knives spelled backwards. I think that's all it is. It's an instrumental that has a horn and maybe like a piano synth thing going on. The bass guitar takes over though, and I love the fact that they give the bass guitar so much time to shine. It's so prominent in almost every song. You can really hear it. They give Dustin a chance to play his little heart out on his bass, and I enjoy the heck out of it. Then we have the song Dark Divide, which comes directly after it, which I think is, it's kind of cool that they did that. They have knives and then Dark Divide like being cut. It has a crazy sounding guitar in the intro. There's a lot of harmonics coming from the guitars, which isn't really an August Burns Red thing either, which is kind of nice to hear. They made it work. Otherwise, this feels very much like a traditional August Burns Red song, specifically in the drums, the vocals. The guitar solo stands out quite a bit to me, which I'm not a huge guitar solo fan. I'm not really that into them, so this is great. The outro hits a huge climax where they bring all of these elements together. There's the harmonics, the guitar, so I mean everything. It's absolutely great. Then we have the song Deadbolt, which is probably the most metalcore song on this album. The guitarist JB said that he got his inspiration for this song from Killswitch Engage, and you could definitely hear it because there's a lot of simplicity to this song, specifically in the chorus where there's cleans, which is like, what the hell? That's another really weird thing. Very unusual for August Burns Red. I believe this might be the only song that actually has clean singing in a chorus. The drums and the verses, though, are absolutely sick. They definitely carry the song. And I feel like the vocals do too. Jake's performance and the vocals are great on this song as well. And in case if you're wondering, yes, I did spill water in myself in between takes because obviously I'm a crazy animal when it comes to drinking water. I don't know. The Abyss is one of my favorite songs. It starts out with a droning guitar and a slow drum pattern, and the vocals join in, and it's just so heavy as they're out in front of the mix, really growly and in your face. And the riff around the minute 20-second mark is very Found in Faraway Places-esque. It sounds fantastic. And it becomes rather genty musically as JT from Era takes over, and his vocals are so good. I love Era, but on this song, they're phenomenal because August Burns Red's music mixed with JT's vocals is a match made in heaven. And then the intro music comes back around again in the bridge, making for a good turnaround kind of feel. And the riff becomes really groovy as it's traded out for a heavy breakdown in the outro. And then we have the closing track, Reckoning, which has a super heavy intro, which showcases August Burns Red's best qualities all over again. And the breakdown at the end of verse 1 is very climactic. It's huge. And I love that they let the music breathe a little. They give you a chance to really hear it. and enjoy it, the riff and the drums and everything before it goes into the chorus. The speed picks up like almost like quite a bit, a lot going into verse 2, ending in another kind of more of a genty breakdown. I gotta admit, I didn't really care that much for the guitar solo in this song, but Spencer from Under Oath is featured in the bridge, and his clean vocals mixes so well with atmospheric music, and his vocals get a little grittier, they become distorted. Oh, his vocals are fantastic. He's still one of the best distorted vocalists in this genre, and the outro has a sick guitar duet, and I love the lyrical theme of this song. It definitely closes off the entire album in a nice, pretty little bow. This is tough to say, just because August Burns Red has a lot of albums, and there's a lot of different elements between each one of those albums. Yes, if you hear one of their songs, people say they all sound kind of the same, which is true, but you always can tell that they're August Burns Red because they have a certain quality to them in terms of riffs, production, drum work, vocals, whatever. And with that being said, for me specifically, this has all of my favorite qualities from August Burns Red. I'm not going to say the best, but I'm going to say my favorite qualities because there's just a lot of objections to what's the best. And honestly, no one's really wrong on this because everything that they do is good. And there's a lot of sections on this that remind me of my favorite albums, such as Rescue and Restore. I pointed out how many times something reminded me of it, because that's a huge factor for me. The production on this is absolutely great. I know it's going to divide a lot of fans because there's people who like the more rough Messengers, thrill seeker kind of production, and there's those that love Phantom Anthem. That's a lot more polished. And for me, their production always fits the kind of music that they're playing. If you don't like the production, if you don't like the production on Phantom Anthem, if you threw the production that was done on Messengers on Phantom Anthem, it just wouldn't, to me, it wouldn't sound that good. All the finger tapping and technical stuff just would not work through it. And I just, I feel like what they do works for what they're doing at that time. And I'd also be willing to say this is probably their least experimental album. But with 2 songs being close to 8 minutes long and having the features that they have with Spencer and JT and even Jason Richardson just doing a guitar solo, I would say this is probably their most ambitious album. Absolutely. And I love this more than Guardians, which is, that's not a knock on Guardians. I love Guardians, but this is, to me, it just means that this is just so much higher. It actually might be my favorite album since Rescue and Restore, which is a big thing to say because it takes a long time for me to really soak in August Burns Red album because there's so much different crap going on in it. And I'm already like, I already love it. It's great. It has everything that I love, plus a lot of different stuff that, there's some experimental stuff. There's stuff they haven't done before, but it's just, it works, and they're all sticking to their wheelhouse. They're doing what they can. And JB is just, his guitar playing in this is so good. His riffs don't stand out too much in the mix, but if you listen to them, the things that do stand out, they're just great. So with all that said, I got to give Death Below by August Burns Red a 9.6 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. It could be a really polarizing album just because a lot of people love the older stuff and a lot of people love the newer stuff. So leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Death Below. Let me know what you would rate it. And let me know what your favorite song is. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. If you want to help support me and my channel, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. Doing any of that stuff helps me out tremendously. Even if you hate the video and you decide to give it a dislike, feel free. I appreciate you taking time out of your day just to listen to me talk about music. And even if at the end of it you hate me, that's totally fine. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day listening to me talk about music. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time.
I was trying